Hey everyone, and welcome to this stream. I hope you're doing good. I'm just gonna be back in a second or in a minute. I need to warm up my tea again. Let's see if I can find chat, restream, chat. There we go. I'm just gonna make sure we have the extension enabled as well, so we don't have an issue with that. There we go. Refresh, and we should be good. Cool. Restream made, refresh, refresh. Okay, cool. How's everyone doing? Educatified, hey, how's it going? How are you doing today? I'm gonna try to see if the extension works well. Yeah, looks like it does. Cool, awesome. So I'm gonna let you folks try this out. So if you try drop in the chat, you're gonna see your avatar on the screen. I'm gonna work on PulseChecker, which is a product that I'm building for a while. I do have some users who are already trying that. I'm also using it for myself as well. And we plan to use it for the Angular Cookbook second edition as well to get feedback on my book's recipes. It's gonna be super awesome. So I'm gonna be right back in just a bit. I'm just gonna go and warm up the tea. I'm still suffering with a bit of a sore throat. So yeah, it's and a bit of cough as well, but it's getting better. So I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna be right back in a bit. See you in a bit. Sorry, I'm back. Shazab says sound is not good. What do you mean? What is the problem with the sound? Is it too low? Is it better now? Mr. Mayor says, hello, in your opinion, is it still relevant to learn Laravel and Symfony in 2023? Yeah, I think so. Because I think already, or I mean, still a lot of companies are using Laravel, so it's definitely worth it. Yes. Yes. The answer is yes. So PHP, I remember when I started my career in 2013. That's when I got told by a lot of people that it's gonna die. PHP sucks. I mean, that's a different question, but PHP is gonna die was one of the things that I heard, and it seems like it's still alive and it's still improving. So I don't usually get um get into those things, but it's definitely still relevant. Yes. Ah, no, it's good. Good. So I'm gonna keep looking at your comments as well. Keep them coming. In the meantime, I'll also look into the app that I'm working on. So this is the Pulse Checker application that I'm currently working with. The UI can obviously be improved a bit, but I'm currently working on sort of revamping it. So let me show you how this looked before versus how this looks now. It is available on PulseChecker.netlify.app at the moment. So this is how it looked before. It looked fancy, so to say, but I think this is a much nicer overview. So I'm just implementing a couple of things, overriding some styles that I really want, and keeping the rest of them, keeping the functionality from Angular material as well. So yeah, I'm gonna be continuing to work on this one. I think the next feature I do want to have is, previously we did not have a possibility of create or not editing the session, so I'm gonna do that. And also, apart from the sessions, we do have the same thing right now for edit and create, so I'm gonna refactor my code to use the same component, the same form in both of those as well. What I also want to do, actually, if you give me one quick second, is I don't want to leave without tweeting that I'm doing this. I'm gonna quickly share that as well. Live. Let's quickly do that. Build PulseChecker with Angular. Wait, Angular TypeScript. Is it TypeScript lang? NestJS, Supabase, and more. And let's give it a quick link as well. Mr. Mert says, thank for your answer, Ahsan, you're awesome. No problem, thank you. You can obviously ask any questions. That's the whole point of coming live. Otherwise, I could just code in silence, right? Let's do that. Angular, TypeScript, Prisma, Supabase, NestJS, product, meetups, feedback. All right, so we can quickly do that, and we can send the post now as well. I can also share this, I think, on my with my community as well. Give me one quick second, and then I think we can start working on it quickly. With Angular, TypeScript. I don't like how Twitter formats my tweet when I have to paste it somewhere else. Like with every @ it creates a new line. I don't know why, but anyways, good. All right, I think we're good now. Cool, let's do it. So what I wanted to do was to create a new page called edit. For example, if I want to edit test meetup, I should be able to come here, but then I should also be able to add new fields to that. So for example, this one has some fields. So if I go here, you can see test 1 2 3 number starts to show 8. So this is excuse me, this is what we have already. But I do want to use the same form for multiple things. So I think I'm gonna take out the component from create and edit, because I might use the same for duplicate as well. So let's create a component, npx nx. Let me know if I need to zoom in, or if this is good enough. If I need to zoom in more, you can let me know, and I can try to adjust as well. I think this is probably a decent zoom level. Component, we're gonna call it components, and then we can say session form. We want this to be standalone, and we also want to specify the project to be PC web, which is PulseChecker web. Annex Angular component. Oh, I should have tagged NX as well. That I didn't do. Let's do that as well. Edit post. And Narwa. Is it gonna find NX? No. Yes. No. This is a bad experience. Let's see. Can I find? NX DevTools is the name. Let's also add that as well here. Cool. Good. Awesome. All right. So now that we have created a component for the session form, we can first make it work for the create, and then we can port the same thing for the edit as well. So trying not to really break the existing functionality in that case. So this should actually take, so let's see, I'm going to close all of them. So we do have session create, we have this right here. So we're going to take out the form itself from here. We're going to move the form to session form, and then we can move the rest of the stuff here as well. So let's see, what do we have here that we need? So we need the snack bar, not really. Session form, yes. Let's see. So in here, in the session form component, we do need session form. We need the form builder as well that we create. So here we do have the form builder. Let's quickly go here. Gonna inject the form builder. We're also gonna import reactive forms module. Also gonna import validators. Then we also need to have this guy, remove field, and on submit, all of them actually. I mean, not maybe on submit, but I'm thinking. Yeah, let's copy all of them for now. We'll see. Then this one. So let's also import form array. The add new fields should be good here. Then creating session true, we don't want that. Session service, no need here. So the submit thingy, I think everything goes away because it's just going to emit the value of the session form. So then it should just say session form submit. We can maybe just say right here submit equals new event emitter from Angular core, and that should essentially share return type of this dot session form. Would that be would that be enough? I'm thinking, isn't that the same thing? No. How do you do return type and type of together? Return type of TypeScript. Return type. That's not what I was looking for at all. Return type. This is the one I'm looking for. So return type, and then obviously the type, right? So this should be This guy. But then I did something wrong in the type here. This should be type of this dot session form. But I did the same, right? But this says blah blah blah. Okay. I think that would be because I would not be able to send back information from there. If I check the okay. Right. Let's see if I can type it. If I can type it, then this says cool. Then makes sense. So then if I'm going from a label point of view, string and range number, does it allow that form control to no, then it would not be allowing it as well. Okay. Control any blah blah blah. Okay, then let's keep it like this for now. We would then have to specify the kind of type, or what are we actually emitting from here. Give me 1 second. I need to have this. So here we can probably define that type form submit value, and we can say that it's going to contain name, string, and fields, which is going to be an array of label, string, and range number, right? Let's make it like this. Then we can say this will be of type this, and this should be a output from Angular core. And okay, yes, so we can say form submit. Then here we can say this dot form submit dot emit, and in here I need to send name, which is going to be this dot session form dot get name value, and this blah, 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 blah. I think there was something like not null. No, what was it? There is something that says Angular reactive forms not nullable, something like that. Type forms, yes. Nullability, yes. So here we do have, yeah, this one. So can we do that here? Yeah, not nullable, true. So now I don't need this thing right here, right? Is that so? Possibly null. Why? So when we use the form builder group, so in this case we have non-nullable group. Aha, okay. So then we should have p dot non-nullable group. This makes so much sense. But then also I should have a non-nullable dot group. So then this should not be a problem, right? If I remove this guy, validators not required. Okay. Or what am I missing here? So we have a session form, right, which has a non-nullable group. Then we have a name. Should I then be specifying a property like this? Oh, then I should maybe, okay, so then my usage is wrong. Then I should be just saying something like controls dot name dot value, right? And this should be good. Yeah, of course. Cool. Then we should have fields. No. This dot session form dot controls dot fields dot map controls dot map, and this is gonna give me a group actually. So we have a form group. It should be form group, right? And then in here we should be saying return group dot value, and in this case the group, you know, so in this case if it's getting a control, it's gonna be of type controls. But then I'm thinking, wait, the group dot value, is it unknown? What? Hmm. 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 So we have the fields, which is in form array. Can we map this or no? Yes, no, no. Because then if I have this guy, we would have to specify this as, I mean, technically, that's why a lot of people say TypeScript makes it hard. Yes. So we have the image right here, blah, blah, blah. Name is here. We can get to that. But then if I want to get to the fields array, it sends me back session form calls for fields, right? And this says form array form control unknown. And this is, should we say form array, form control, or form group? Uh, mm-hmm. Because in the form array, we do have, if I look at the types of this group, the fields here are also unknown. What if I added this? So let's say if I added this right here, what is the type now? So here we have the form builder dot array, right? And I'm trying to get the session form group. So let's see here now. So this says form array label string. So it, do I need to specify all the type? hmm. Because if I specify this the first time, then obviously it understands it. But, okay, let's see. This is what we're talking about right here, I think. So if I go here with this guy right here, mm-hmm. Mm-mm. Because this is supposed to be a form array like this. Mm-hmm. Is that the same thing? Now I need to import form control abstract. If I do this now, then I can't add this because because now that I have abstract control, I would have to define the value type as well. And this should, the range should here be number and not a string. The control here is oh no, I can't open it. Now what does this say? Label, and this is a string as well. Ah, okay. Yeah, I remember because I fixed it in the other one. So this one should actually be like this. Let's fix that right here. And this should be da da da. So we have the value.label, which will be a string. The range will always be a number. Okay. Da, 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 da. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But this is essentially the labels that we are talking about, and it's an array to contain all of that things together, right? And if you look at this, does it does do that. uh, 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 mm, that's interesting. So then why should we not use this type actually? Because this is essentially what we are doing, right? No? Yes? No? So this one, where does this end? Okay, so then from here to here, can we say form group that has a label that goes all the way there? uh, hmm mm-hmm. But then should this go away as well? Oh, because okay, so a lot of problems could just be because of this guy right here. Okay, so let's see. So we have the fields array in which we are trying to push a form group that has a label form group string or null, and we also have a range to this guy. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, one of the things also is because we are having a non-nullable group. So this should be probably non-nullable dot array that can go here. So it's not null in that case. Then it should be a non-nullable group. If I go with this approach, then I would have to say, go away. Then I would have no type, but then this one would not be happy because we are saying unknown. So maybe so here we might not have to type it, but here we will have to type it. So we do have controls. Let's take out the controls here. So const controls equals this as form group array. In this case we have the form control, but these are for each control dot. Let's see. So this one, mm, all right, let's see. What did I do here? Okay, so then I would have to go and say, if I look at the session form components, this fields is taken as a form array. So we could actually do something like this dot form, or what is it called here? Fields array. Fields array dot controls. And now I can say group, which is abstract control, and then we also have the value here as well. And if I do this, then I can emit this as well. Cool. Then we should also be having creating session else loader. Here we don't really need that. We're doing on submit. Good. Session create component does not have the form anymore, so we need to have that. So let's quickly import that. Session form component, and let's say we do have session form. All right, so then once we have this, let's see if the app works still. Yes, it does. I can also see the form. This should be inside the PulseChecker session form as well. Good. If I submit form submit, then I should be calling my submit, which is on submit right here. And here I should be able to say on submit. And we can pass the value in there. The value that we're passing actually is form submit value. Let's name it session form submit value, and let's rename it properly. Session form submit value. Export it. We don't need this, these, or these at all at the moment. Then in the create session, not here, we can say form val session form submit value, and then here we can then get the values of the name as well. So here we can then say const name equals form val. So I think we can get out both the name and the fields. Then here we can use the name right here. I think this will not happen because if the form is not sub, or if the session is not valid, it will not run at all. Then we can get the fields. We can console log the fields here, but then this is already done, so I don't think we need to do this at all. So the ratings can then just be fields. Isn't that what ratings are? Oh, then we have the max value and the range. Aha, okay. So then we can say, all right, we do have the fields dot map, and then we can run it like this. Cool. This seems okay to me, and I think this would still work. So let's see session create component. This is much nicer now. If I go here, if I say late night meetup, add fields, maybe we can add first field. Let's add another one. Second field. Let's mark 3 stars for this one. And then we can go to session create component. And then we can break a breakpoint right here. So here comes the value fields and then name. We do have the range as well and the labels as well. Cool, cool, cool. Forward, go forward, go forward, and then we can pass the name, and we can also pass the create in the create session. So let's double check that we're getting those correctly. So in here we do have the session that has the name. We have the ratings as well, max value, blah blah blah. Yeah, this is going to create the field. Cool, without any issues. There we go. So we have the late night meetup right here. Cool. Now I think we can move to the edit part, because I think this is going to be easier now. So now if I click this, you can see this working, but right now I'm using a duplicate form completely, so we don't need that duplicate form. We can use the same one that we have. And first let's remove everything that this does not really need. So for example, remove field, add new field, fields array. None of this is required at all. Session form is not required at all. Form builder is not required at all. Move this guy, this guy, this guy. I think even the reactive forms module is not required at all. I think, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't think we need that, to be honest. Let's remove this guy as well. Save this guy. Let's try one more. So we create late night session, meetup 2. Helpful was the talk. Create the session, and there we go, late night meetup 2. So cool. So this works. Now we can quickly go ahead and I like this because the session create component is reduced to like a really tiny margin now. That's really good. Now we can do the same thing for edit session. So the form has to go. Here we need to also remove the remove field, add field, get fields array. Don't need any of that, to be honest. This has to be fixed, but I'm gonna fix it in a bit. The session form does not need to be there. This needs to go. And form array, validators, event form builder, not really required. Reactive forms module not required anymore because we have that in the form. This will be fixed in a bit. I think the whole on submit has got to go. We'll see. Yes, let's keep it like this. So now what I actually want to have is session form component. and then I can just add that PC session form, save this. So now if I go to the edit page for this one, I do see the form. It doesn't get filled, which is okay. I do need to send or listen to the submit button. So form submit event. So we will have to pass the event here. Here we'll go and say this form while session form submit value, and we just say form while. Okay, this cool. Now this still works as an edit one. So test meetup, if I hit create session, you can see the values, right? First of all, the form button title would have to change, so we need a capability of doing that. Here we have the component that should take an input that says button text input submit button text, and in here we can have submit button text or create session by default. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, create session. Let's keep it like this. So here, submit button text. Then we can use the other one to add that, and then in the edit one, we can add submit button text to be save session. So here it should say save session now. There we go. And once we have this created, we also want to update the form values as well. So here, let's get the input using a view child, session form component, session form component. This has to be this. I think I would want to have this in so we'll have to get the session. I think we can move things from ng on init to or after view init in this case. So after view init, ng after view init. I mean, this has to be still done in ng on init. So ng on init. Session ID can remain here. Session service can still be there. I don't want any console errors. Okay, so once we've got this, this is what we should do. We should say something like this dot form component dot session form dot controls dot name dot set value, right? And maybe we can create a getter for this one. So we can say get session form. Hanif Ahmad Khan, assalamu alaikum. Are you in Pakistan now? No, I'm not in Pakistan at the moment. I will probably be in Pakistan somewhat around December. So not yet. Return this dot form component dot session form. This dot session form controls dot name set value. Then we can also do the same thing. So this wait a second. Yeah, so this dot session form or this dot form component dot add new field, and this should populate them, right? Let's see. Yay, let's go. So now this is being populated, which is good. And if I try to save the session, then I also get them back. Awesome. Now I can change this to, let's say, this. And if I do save session, there we go. Awesome. The only problem is that if I'm editing something, I also want to have the ID of the sessions as well. And this is where it gets tricky. so so and especially if you have, I'm thinking now, because you would have to okay, so then you would have to have the IDs of them as well. Let's see, because when we get the data from the backend, we should have, no, not this one, but this guy. For each rating config, we should have the ID as well, right? So we need the ID. We need the ID as well. Okay, so then, so then for the session form, we do need to have the fields which would have can I define here that I need a label string and a range number? Does it cry? No. Cool. Then I also have the ID as well. Um, ID number. Okay. Mm, mm, let's see. So here we can say something like cons. Mm-hmm. If val.id, we can also say group.val, because here I'm thinking now, or should I just say, I'm gonna either set this null or the actual val. So here we could say id val.id or null. So in this case, if I have an ID that I've already set, and if I save this session, then I should get the IDs back as well, right? So the ID here is null. That's because when we add a new field from the edit, we don't pass the ID. So here we should also be adding the ID as well. Config.id. There we go. Now if I save this, we should also get the ID. Awesome. So now I can actually add stuff, remove stuff. There is a problem though. If I try to delete a field, then that means that any related data will also be removed. So then I would have to have that as well. Okay. Okay. So then, okay. So let's try a couple of things as well. So we need to add one, delete one, and update one. So let's first do the update in this case. I'm gonna keep this right here. We're gonna go to and quickly go to edit this. So this goes to our backend in here, and then we should have the patch here as well. And what is our update session DTO? So here we should actually have like this. So this can still be, and this also would have to have ID number as well. So then I could go and say something like I'm gonna have to go here to make it work. Hey Toshi, how's it going? So then I would have to say when we are creating it, or not creating it, but updating a session, then we would have to do the same thing. So then I could go and do the, but I'm thinking, let's see. So update session DTO. Let's change that to this guy. I don't really think I want to do pin change on, I mean, I could, but then I would just say generate a new pin. I don't think I need pin, to be honest. So is not empty is supposed to be there. User ID should be there. Rating should be there. Partial type. In that particular case, then I don't really need this. So pin, then it's already okay. So then I know I don't need this because it extends create session DTO already. Okay, so then if I go to the session controller, in here we have update session DTO. This sends it the update right here. Now I need to identify here which ones are we actually updating. Hmm. So if I get the update session DTO, I should be able to see which ones I have to update in the session and which ones I do have to delete then, right? Can I do it with one Prisma query though? um, because we are using update, right? If we are using update, we just update the session itself, but then mm, I'm thinking, let's see. So if I want to do, so I'm gonna have to take out the session itself. Const session equals name update session DTO session DTO dot session DTO dot name. Um, then we would have to have, we talked about name, and what did we talk about? So create session should have the user ID should still be the same. The ratings would change. So in this case, then I can say session is this. I do update the session in this case, but then also, so we can say await session update, and this should be then in async. Looking at the question now. Today I gave an interview for a web developer for the job. Interview gave a task website to complete tomorrow, and I am still working, but I can't get understand how to complete this project. Can you help me just to understand how this is working? What do you mean you need to understand? Do you mean implementing this or? hold the space bar to start. I think it's using a lot of things, so this is not something that's really simple. So it is using, I believe it's using WebGL or 3JS. I'm not really sure. Does it use Canvas? Or is it, no, it's transforming everything on the go. So here you see the translate 3D. It is using either WebGL or 3JS or something. I can see Canvas containers. So Canvas, okay, so the Canvas is being used here as well. So they are using Canvas. It's nice. There are a lot of things happening actually. Click and drag. Ooh, fancy. Lemming space. Advertising spaces. Nice. Okay, hold the space bar to change the stage. A little more new spaces. Click to drag. Lost spaces. Yeah, I'm not really sure if it's a custom. If it's a custom implementation or using some library, but it looks cool overall. Do you understand now how this works? So yeah, I don't know what they're using. Maybe they're using, if I go to scripts. mm-hmm. Data layer doesn't really matter. Text JavaScript script.min.js. Mm, 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 mm. That doesn't look easy. So we have update scene. Let me see if I can find 3. Yeah, so they are using 3JS. So we are creating a lot of 3JS scenes. We are adding stuff, removing stuff. But yes, so they're using 3JS. You can Google this and then see if you can find something similar. But yes, it's what they're using. There you go. Infinite passarella. This looks like the same. Illusion Labs. Okay. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Kosovo. It's gonna crash my PC. No. Yes. It's going to crash my PC. Most likely. We'll see. No problem. Hey Naveen Sharma, how's it going? How are you doing? I'm not really sure if I have to kill my Chrome browser. I'll probably write some code while that happens, so we'll see. Okay. Find many where session ID is ID, right? And then we can look into what are the ratings that are there. Cool. My PC is not dead. I'm having a bit of cough and a bit of sore throat. I'm hoping it gets better in the morning. I don't know what's going on. It's Let's hope for the best. I'm gonna have some green tea. I'm gonna have some. I'm gonna do gargles, and let's see how that goes then. But yeah, that's what's happening. What are you up to? What are you doing these days? Um, Maybe first I should get all the ratings and whatnot. And then I should do this, right? And here I can say include rating configs true session feedback true session no con feedbacks and ratings, right? Yeah. Okay, so then I would have all the rating configs. I have an interview around the schedule tomorrow based on assignment I did based on React and based on hmm. I mean, the best way would be to just to Google, to be honest. I mean, I can give you some questions. For example, event loop, when it comes to Node.js, understanding what event loop is. You can also look into, for example, middlewares if you're working with Express.js. So what are middlewares? How do you do logging in Express? How do you handle calls in Express? How do you create a scalable structure? How do you keep MVC architecture in Express.js? How do you define your routes? How do you version them if you're a senior? Um, then the event loop already talked about it. There could be questions like async await, promises if you're a junior. Um, when it comes to MySQL, there would be SQL queries, joins, inner join, outer join. You would also be asked to maybe talk about optimizing the queries if you are a senior. When it comes to React, you have so many things. You have higher order components, server side rendering. If you're working with Next.js or have worked with it, specifically with React, it's going to be how do you manage state? You have use state, you have use reducer, you have context API. How do you work with that? Um, if you have knowledge of Redux, if you can explain what Redux is, difference between class components versus functional components, lifecycle hooks in React, use effect versus use layout effect. Um, what else? Yeah, I think those are some of them. But if you Google, I mean, you're gonna find a lot of them. It's much better than asking me, to be honest. All right. So we have sessions ratings configs. So here we can say const so we can say ratings config const new ratings equals, we can say here, actually we can loop over them. So we can say const new ratings um new ratings, we can say const ratings to, or we can say ratings to add, to delete, const ratings to update. And now we can say rating config fields. No, where's my, okay, const fields equals update session dt no update session dtu. Thanks a lot. No problem at all. Happy to help. Hope you have a good interview. Do let me know how it goes. If you're connected with if you're connected with me on the Discord, do let me know how it goes. So here we're gonna say ratings. We do have fields for each. Here we can say each field if rating configs dot what oh wait find config dot id equals field dot id. Why does it say the field doesn't have an id? Then I should say id number. Okay, so in here, if it's equal to the id, then we can say ratings to add. Clickety click dot push field. If we can't find it, I did hear some sound. What sound was that? I have no clue. I did hear some sound. What sound was that? Ah, okay. I don't know. Okay. So if we don't find it, we can probably try to say const field exists or existing field existing rating equals find. We can find it if existing field it doesn't exist, we add it, else we okay, else we do have updated ones, so we can say something like ratings to update field dot push. My brain is almost fried now. Okay, then I would also have to identify if any one of them has been deleted, so I can say const rating config, or no, we can say const, no, we can say rating config dot for each, or we can say filter. So we want to filter out the one which are not there, so delete the one, or the deleted are the ones which are not in the fields that came to the server. So filter config return fields dot find field dot id equals okay. So now that we've got ratings to add, ratings to update, and ratings to delete, we can say you can say if to add dot length this dot await this dot prisma dot add no rating config no, what is it called? Session rating dot add many, no, create many data, and this should be ratings to add, right? And we should be able to do that. If ratings to update dot length, then we can do await or should we do because if we do upsert many, then we would have the same ID as well, right? Can we just, I think we can combine the ratings to add and ratings to delete together. Or I think we can do that in the same query. So ratings to update dot length, then we can just do upsert many. But do we have upsert many? I don't think so. No, I don't think we have update. We do have update, no, update many, but not upsert many. Okay, then we have to do create many, and then I can't have this. I'm gonna switch my camera, and I'm gonna also take a break. I'm just gonna move outside and come back in a bit. So then we have wait, this dot Prisma dot session rating dot, then would I no, I would have to update many, right? And here we have providing and defined where then I would have to update all of them, right, one by one. For await that rating of ratings to update, then I can do something like then I would have to do session rating update where id rating dot id data data rating const, right? Do I need to do this? I don't think so, because this await already, so we don't need two awaits, right? Right? Yes. It's my brain going around now. So we update each rating, then finally we should also have if ratings to delete dot length, then we can simply say delete or no, this dot no, await this dot Prisma dot session rating delete many where id in, and here we can say ratings to delete dot map rating dot id. All right, so this looks good. I've coded a lot. Let's actually see if this works, but in a bit. I'm going to be back in 5 minutes. Be right back. In 5 minutes, I said, not 1 minute. Okay, let's see. Where are my classes? I'm gonna be right back. Okay, I'm back. Assalamu alaikum, bhai. Hope you're doing well. I just want to ask, how do you manage out time for side project product apart from your job? I mean, you have to pick one thing over another. So if you don't just analyze where your time is going, and if you can see if you can swap that time with what you want to do, then yes, that's what I usually do. So I have mapped out my time on what I do, and I find spaces between those, and then I utilize them as much as possible. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I'm going to stop these because I want to run the backend in dev mode. So I can say npm run serve web, and then I can run the backend via debugger. Can remove this guy, npm launch via npm. Let's say be dev, or we can just serve be, and we basically say wait a second, and then we should have run serve be, and then we should be able to run it like this. Alrighty. So we should have our front end running now. Anytime soon. We should have our backend as well. So then we can double check if everything is working. Cool. This one works. Unable to load paths, blah, blah, blah. Debugger attached. Cool. Okay, debugger attached. Cool. Let's quickly go and put a breakpoint here then. So then we can go to a browser. We can try to refresh the app. There we go. Let's say I want to change this to 4. Then I should be sending to my my backend all the information, but which I don't at the moment. So I just console log it. So we have the form value. So let's update the front end as well to fix that. So we have our add a session component, which on submit does nothing at the moment. So we can take some inspiration from the create one. So we do all of this. So here we can quickly copy this guy, edit session, and here we can do this. Here we can say saving session equals to false. In here we should have const name. Did we not fix it yet? No. Okay, so name equals form, can say something like equals form. Well, this can take out both the name and the fields. Okay, then I would also have to, and it can also have an ID, which will be a number, and the ID can be this. So I can also then pass the ID as well. Give me 1 second. Okay, so then I should be, we have label, we have max value, and then we also have the ID. So ID should be rating.id in this case. Session updated or saved, and then we can go to the router dashboard as well. But we're gonna put some breakpoints here to make sure we're doing everything correctly. Error saving session. All right, let's see. Mm-hmm. Okay, so then I move it to 3. Let's go and check this to edit session component, which should be right here, here, and we are still calling create session, so we need to create one for edit session as well, or update session. This will take a session with but then also it needs to take the ID as well, and then it's gonna do a patch to it with the session. I think the rest is good enough. Mm-hmm. Cool, let's see. So then we should be able to say 3, the session, it takes the form value, takes the name, takes the fields, which is an array. The range has been changed to 3 now. The IDs is still there. Oh, what? Have I not saved my file? Because this still says create session. Oh, I haven't changed this to update session. That's why it doesn't say update session, of course. Okay, what happens with this one? So ID and ID are incompatible. This ID is number undefined. So then my so then the problem here is I know. I'm thinking now. So this may or may not have an ID, right? And in this case, the update session in this case is gonna have rating, but this, I don't know, the ID is supposed to be picked from this as well. But how do we say in pick? TypeScript pick, TypeScript pick optional. No, that's not the one. So if I do pick type key, so this omits it. No, extract, read only, record. I mean, the ID number is the problem here. So Mm-mm. If I don't put this here, then would I be able to pass this as well or no? Mm, mm. All right, let's see. So now if I go here, change this to 3, save session, goes here, should go into the session service, update session, and in here we should have the session that should contain ratings, label, the ID. Max value is now changed to 3. This was 5 before. And then it's trying to do sessions. Is this correct? No, this is not correct. So it should be rather patch, but session that slash ID. So then I need to change my front end code right here to also include session.id. Refresh. 3. Save session. Come here. Go. Now I have the correct URL. And if I hit play, error saving session. Yay! 404. It doesn't exist. So patch v1 users sessions undefined. Ooh, fancy. That's interesting. Oh, is that because I think I should probably send back everything else? I think. Let's see. Session service. This should be something like blah blah blah. Let's create of the session. No, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. So here we do have the ID, we do have the user ID. We should also have the ID. I think we should have something like this dot session. And then everything else changes. I think this should probably give a better overview. Save session, blah blah blah. Goes to the session service, goes to the next. Now the session should contain the ID, feedback, created ad, blah blah blah. Everything is there, right? Privacy level public, project ID, rating configs, ratings. The only things that we are supposed to be updating is what we just added on the update. So even if I go and try to do this, then I should be able to what 4 patch. Oh, is it because now I understand. Then this should not be here, right? Then this should be rather in the or should it be? I'm thinking now. I think it should be because I would also have to put some authorization controls here to say who can actually update this. But for now, I think I'm gonna just copy pasta it to the users sessions. So we do have everything under control there. So then, but then, I would have to. Okay, let's see. So we do have a controller, I think, which should use the service. So we have ID sessions, right? Post ID sessions that adds a new one. Should also have a patch. Here it should say update session. Session.id. Nope. ID and then session. What? Oh, okay. Then I'm doing it wrong. So this should be update session DDO. And this should contain the ID and the session. There we go. Session. Update session. There we go. Let's save this. No, it should be there. So patch ID sessions. No, patch ID sessions. What? But this is the user. No, it is. This one is actually user ID. A user ID. And then we have, or we can say ID, and then here we can say session ID. Session ID. So param session ID, session ID, session ID, session. Okay, then I say 3, save this guy, go here, and now I've got it back without, I did not trigger it, anything at all. So now I've got the session back. Let's see what the session contains. This was the one, right? With the patch. Request method was patch, right? 200, okay. What I got back contains the ratings. And 3. Yay! Awesome. So now I can go and check this guy out. And now I have a problem. Was it this the one? Or was this the one? Oh, this was not the one. Which was the one? It was 943. So we had ratings, label how helpful it was, blah blah blah. But before that, we got the session with the rating config. Oh, wait a second. What are you talking about? So if here, this is essentially sending back rating configs. This was the patch call, right? No, get. This was the patch call. This returned. This should be rating config. I think I messed something up. Prisma patch. 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 Where is your documentation, dude? CRUD update Mm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Then okay, so then the problem is in our code. So patch, let's put a breakpoint right here and here as well. So we can redo this. Sessions, preview, data, first one. Let's see if I can go and look at this one. So this one, if I refresh this, does not have any reading configs at all. Okay, so then I add one. Test 1, 2, 3. Let's give it a 5. And now we have a 500. Cool. Why? Lines with plus are required with question mark optional. mm, why did it not work with the debugger? mm, mm-hmm. Ah, okay. Because it's okay. So then it is So ratings to add, push field ID undefined. Okay, that makes sense. And session ID also needs to be there. So they have to have session session ID is the ID of the session. And yes, we need that. Anyways, now if I try to do the same thing with 8, this worked and this is what we created. So rating config, we created one with test 1 to 3. So late night meetup, if I go there, I don't see any. Okay. So then I can go here and do edit. And now we have 8. Cool. So that means this got created. So the create worked fine. If I want to delete something, let's add one more. So this one is 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's give it a 2-star. Save session. And now if I go and edit this, yeah, the other one gets deleted for some reason, so that's not good. Um, Rating so update is not doing pretty well. So this one has to have the field. Then we go and say, oh, we would also have to say not. So rating to delete, I'm trying to find config in which I cannot return not. So I'm actually deleting the ones that's not good. Ugh. That's why. So now if I add one more, test 1 to 3 with an 8 or 9, this should not only add this one but also keep this one as well. So if I do this and if I edit now, there we go. Awesome. So they are there. Now if I remove this guy and if I save the session, and now if I edit, cool. Do I remove the next one or this one? Wait a second. I'm gonna have to add another one. So first field, 3 stars, delete test 1 to 3 and save it. So now that I see the patch call, this is the patch. Payload, rating config. There we go. And this one is the test 1, 2, 3 that remains. If I go and do edit, yeah, the first field should remain. Cool. If I refresh this again, I'm gonna say field to keep 10 stars. First field gets deleted. And now if I hit edit, we keep the field to keep. Refresh. Cool. So this now works nicely. So I can also add test 1 to 3. And now if I edit this, you can see that this is good. We can also say once this is done, okay, so then we good. Then we're good. One thing that I want to do is if I create I have some functionality that I can move to I can probably move to a service. So session list, component, copy session link. This one. I can actually move this to the service. So session service. Could be it. This has to be do we have to import the snack bar module anywhere? Yeah, we do. Okay, but then I would have to import the module there, otherwise the service wouldn't work. I think. Yeah. Okay, cool. Snack bar. Mm, yeah, okay. Then I can say this works automatically, so I can uh, okay, so copy session link. Cool. Then I can say when we create a session, once we are done with the session, you can also say this dot session service dot copy session link session, right? And then I'll probably not, I mean, I would still have to show the errors, but I think this is still nice. But I thought it would crash. Hmm. Hmm. Snack bar API. Hmm. Hmm. I think we can probably say my snack bar. So copy link session. Okay, this should work. This should also work. Is this in sessions card component? I don't want that. Session create component can use this. So when I create a new component or create a new meetup, so let's say couch base meetup, and we add food, or we could say talks quality, and we can add this session link copy to clipboard. Just good. And then I can just do it like that, but this should probably be 3,000 milliseconds. Session list component. I think I could just say mm, mm, mm-hmm. Session service dot copy session link session this dot snack bar. Yeah, this could be done. or we could just say session service dot copy session link instead of the list component calling it. Yeah, maybe let's go with the simple one. So here, this is the good one. So in this case, if I click this now, if I click this link, session link copied to clipboard, cool. If I create a new one, I also see that. Majid, how's it going, Majid? Mm-hmm. Okay, then I think we're good. So we can edit things now. We can also delete as well. Um, let's create a bit more, I think. Mm. So we can say something like, all right, let's quickly create one. So or some meet up 6, create session, meetup meetup 7, meetup 8, meetup 9, meetup 10. Is it like to-do list? No, it's not. Let me tell you what this is. This, okay, so oh, what is this? Oh, we have a problem there. What happened to my list? Overflow auto. Probably don't need that. No, this is not good. What's really happening in here? So we have a tr, that is the row footer. Then we have a t foot. What? And then we have the paginator. Paginator is, so this is not a to-do list. This is an app that I've built that actually lets you take feedback from different people when you're giving a session or you're giving a talk. For example, this is one of the talks I gave recently on during a Hackstack event. So yeah, this is what you can do, and everyone who is taking this talk or session can go to the session like this, and then they can give a feedback like, how relevant was the talk, and was it a good pace, too fast, too slow. So yeah, it's a in that particular sense, it's a feedback based application. um what I don't understand at the moment is we have a max height of 500 pixel for this one. It has a relative as well. We have minimum height of 230 pixel as well. Why do we get this weird UI? Items page. So not really sure, to be honest. Let's see. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 10 are these ones, right? And then we have TD, TR, then we got this guy. So T body, everything till here is good. The T foot, what is this guy? Row group. And then you have Matt paginator. I think I missed something from the table. So let's see, table, pagination. So in here, what did I miss? So you have the table, and then you have right below that, you have the pagination. Do I have it somewhere else? Oh, I think I I know what's going on then. So I should be having this right below the table. And I think that's probably the issue. Yeah, there we go. So it was not really CSS, but it was my mistake of wrong HTML. Okay, so then we have 11 of this. I could do this, or I could say 20, and then it gives me 20. Cool. Cool. 1500. Let's maybe change this to 3000. And we also have this guy, 3000, 3000, 3000. Okay, cool. Save all of this. Awesome. So this is how it looks today with the lists or with the cards. And this is how it's going to start looking once we have changed it. So no sorting is happening. That's a bug. So sort is created at order ascending, page 1, page 2. Then we got this guy and the order is descending. So in this case, my backend is not really returning data sorted. Session controller, no. Users, user controller, user sessions, get user sessions, order by, oh, here you go. So this should be pagination dot, what do we send? Order. Oh, but then also shouldn't we say something like, so pagination, okay, then I have a problem. So in this case, let's revert this, go to pagination.input. And here we should have sort, and this should be of type created at, I think. For now, let's save it like this. Oh, I could use it, but the thing is I could also have multiple types for that. For example, created at can be one of those. So created at and then also I could have, for example, name, right? So I don't want to have as cons in this case. So when I have sort, then I also have order, and the order can be ASC or DESC. By default, I want it to be DSC. Okay, so then I can go to my session service, and in here I can say order by, and here I would say pagination dot sort, and then I can also say pagination dot order. There we go. So hopefully this works. Da, da, da. Okay, so now Rapid API host is the top one. If I do this, yay, there we go. So then we have the oldest one and the latest one. And then we should also be able to add more things to the UI as well in terms of name and pin and blah, blah, blah. I think this is where I would stop with the craziness that we are working on right now. So session create component, blah, blah, blah. I don't want a console log here. I also want to remove console log from places where there should not be. E. No. Um, mm, 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 mm. All right, let's see. So we do have global tier done, blah, blah, blah. We don't want that. So in here, this session, let's remove that guy. Session saved, remove this one. Session, I don't really think I'm going to use it. Let's keep it like this. I'm going to remove it, okay. User created, let's keep that one. This client side error, let's keep that one as well. Console log reactions, keep that one. Keep this one. Keep this one too. Okay, so then I think we're good. Just in the sessions list component, we should also have a sort on name. So then I can just go on the table and add one more on the name as well. Created add. Where are you? Created add. Yes, here. So mat sort active created add. Okay. So then interesting. I think I've defined created add here, right? So then I can say this mat sort header, and that should be it. So I should also have one on name as well now. Yeah, there we go. So now it's doing it by name. Awesome. Cool. I think we're good. Okay, so then we can, I think there's one thing that I can improve, and that is for every change, we are also getting the user from Firebase. Let's not do that maybe. So in the session list component, we can now say, do we have a user in here? User data, user response. This is user, right? So we can say user, just like this. No, we don't have a user in here. Hmm. We can say user. Is it the user from Prisma, or do we have a user on Firebase? I think we have a user on Supabase. Null equals null. So here we can say something like if user we can remove this guy. So here we can say return from, if we have this dot user, then promise dot resolve this dot user, else we get the user. And we can do something like data user this dot user. Otherwise we go with the actual one. Once we have the user, then we should also do this dot user equals user. And I think that should be good. As user. Thank you, thank you. So now if I try to refresh the page, it gets the user. We clear this out. I change this. It does not get the user, which is good. Cool. Awesome. So now I'm only making the the sessions call and not the user one because we are caching the user right here. Okay, I think we're good. So I can refresh this, go like this. Have we changed anything at all to all right, let's have a look at the changes so we can push the as remove console log, did pagination, added the edit one, update the session as well, create session DTO, we changed that, added ID, nothing here. We can remove these from here since we don't use them. Save this guy, use controller, pagination input. What? It's fine. Don't worry. Git. What are you talking about? Here we go. Pagination input. Add that app routes. We basically added the edit route. Okay. Session form component. Okay, I'm gonna quickly change this guy. Give me one quick second. And there we go. Session form component. Let's add all this. Edit session component. Talked about this as well. Session component, blah, blah, blah. This file remains as is. Let's quickly go there. Good, good, good. We also reduced the session create component quite a lot. This one also got reduced quite a lot. Good. Loading sessions, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, this also got reduced a bit. Cool. And now I'm going to go to bed. And there we go. So now we should have this as well, and review widget as well. I think we're good. Cool. So I can then commit this. Commit m feed session fix the paginator, implemented table view for sessions list, refactored subcode, and also implemented edit session feature, updated theme in light both, and there we go. So now I think I should be good. Let's quickly push it. Can test this out as well on production. I don't think we have a change in Prisma, So let's see if I can go to my GitHub. See, PulseChecker did a change. So let's see PR revamp. I would rather call it list sessions list revamp and edit session. So let's say create a pull request. I'm gonna double check if everything looks good to me. I do want to see if Prisma changed at all. Prisma, have you changed? No, no. Go back. Prisma, did you change? Dot Prisma. Ah, no. Got good. So the Prisma file did not change. Cool. File filter, there it is. Dot Prisma, no. Cool. So nothing changed really. So I think we can safely merge this. I mean, this deploy preview will be against the deployed backend, so it doesn't make sense to check this at the moment. So I'm gonna merge this and hopefully everything looks good. And now let's see if everything works well. So we can go to railway.app. Here you can see the pulse checker if this works fine. So we are building our application right here. Let's also go to Netlify. See if everything looks good there. Pulse checker is gonna go here. Production main, cool. So it's initializing. This one is also sort of working fine. Okay. Yeah, I think it's gonna be fine. We can also get the list from main pull. Yeah, my PC would just die because I switched branches. Tag v 0.03 4 push tags. Let's tag the repository, tag the build, so we can also keep track of what we did. So let's quickly go here, create a new release, choose a tag v4 0.0.4. Edited or updated the sessions list view to be more concise and easy to use. Also implemented edit session view. Let's publish this release. There we go. Cool. Awesome. So now I should be able to see the build as well in here. All right, now it's going to start building the application. So it's going to take some time, but if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the chat. Okay. Everybody's playing the drop game. There we go. And let's see. Okay, so this is publishing the image. So hopefully our build should be up soon. This is also almost done. Let's see. So this is deployed. Good, good, good. I mean, even if I go and refresh now, everything should be working in PulseChecker. So this was how it looked before, and this is how it should look now. Are we ready? There we go. Look at that. Beautiful. No data. Is that because I'm still deploying my application and there's downtime? Yes? No? What's happening? Do I need to log in? Did I have any data before here? Yes, I did. Source created, user, user, user. So I can't get any users now. Still maybe because this is deploying. So that means whenever I deploy, it's going to be a downtime for the users to be to not be available. Is that so? Hmm. Let's see. So I'm gonna have to restart my backend here. So npm run serve be. Let's see. Let's see if this guy is deployed now. It is. Let's also check Supabase. Start your project. Continue with GitHub. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, cool. Then I can quickly go and say, hey, give me my pulses. Can you? There we go. Now I can see my data. So the downtime only means that I can't access my data in the meantime. But now if I try to view this should be good. And I can view my data as well. So I think everything should be a bit nicer now. Cool. Nice. All right, this is deployed. So everything should be good now. This also works. Cool, cool, cool. Awesome. Then I'll stop right here. What is the full stack product? Probably embed. The full stack product is essentially a feedback app. So if you're giving a talk or a session, you can ask for real-time feedback from your audience, and you should be able to see that in real time as well. This is really good for organizers and speakers who are giving a talk or a session, or if you're just hosting, for example, a workshop even. So I give lectures every day because I work at a School of Applied Technology as a full stack architect and also a head instructor. So for example, if this, let's say you had this guy right here and you had talks quality, for example, and this is a session that you actually wanted to conduct, what you could do is, sorry, you could essentially give this to someone, and for example, this is the one, Couchbase, blah blah blah, and this is an incognito window, so they don't really need to sign up. Even they can just, everybody can just join as anonymous as long as they have a pin to join. And once you do so, then you can actually give feedback. So for example, someone says, hey, the talks quality is cool, this is good pace, I like it. And this is what everybody can see on their machines. Since obviously we're assuming mobile friendly, application, so this is what they would see in this situation. But in general, if they submit the feedback, the organizers can in real time see that, if you can see that. So the idea for this one is, for example, you could also react, and that would also be shown in the emoji count as well. I don't think I've made that real time yet, but yeah, if you refresh the page, you can see that as well. But in general, if I change my feedback as well, then I can also see that being reflected on the organizer's screen as well. The idea for me was to actually have it for my lecture, so if I'm going too fast, I know. So we can implement now features like if majority of the people or 70% of the people say red, then I could hear sound, since I might be just too busy speaking. This also gives a lot of freedom for the audience to give feedback as anonymous feedback, so they don't really have to sign up, for example. Does that make sense? Probably bad. That's a full stack application for the product. So this is something that is being used right now by some people that I know. So we have some users already, including myself. I think so. Cool. Yeah, it's one of the side projects that I'm working on, and since it has some users, that's really good. And since I'm using it myself, that's also really good. And I intend to use this for the second edition of my book. So I'm the author of the Angular Cookbook, so I'm working on the second edition of this book right now, and hopefully we are going to launch this in December. So I'm hoping to have sort of a feedback link from my readers using this application. Angular, yes, the full stack product that you just saw is built with Angular and TypeScript and NestJS and Prisma and Supabase. Yes, I'm a Google acknowledged expert in Angular. This is where my profile, my Google for developers profile lives, right here. There we go. 15 badges earned. Oh, I didn't see that. Which libraries or frameworks do you work on? And if you want to give uh give my projects a shot, look at that one. I've never used Angular. That makes sense. A lot of people have not. I think it's probably good that you haven't used or you were not there when we transitioned from Angular 1.x to 2, because people who have experienced that are a bit, I think they have not so great memories, so to say. But I think from 2 onwards, it has been great so far, and especially recently because they have included a lot of features, a lot of improvements to the framework itself and the performance and whatnot. So it's really, really nice. I think with just the base components, for example, you can see that the performance in Lighthouse for this application that I've built is really good. The things that I need to do with SEO and accessibility, I take full responsibility of those, because I know there are some improvements that I can take. For example, I know the background and foreground colors on some of the views. For example, the login one are not really good. I could improve the color on that one, especially for the light and dark one. And I also have things like, for example, errors being logged on the console, blah blah blah. So I would also look into these as well when the time comes. I also saw there were mm, some issues with the robot.txt as well, not being valid. So I would have to look into that as well. But yeah, it's a good framework. It's a Especially when you get a hang of it. It makes things work really fast. Excuse me. Because I think in about 3 hours or 2.5 hours now, we were able to build the whole functionality of the edit session, which has dynamic fields, so you can actually add a lot of fields. You can edit an existing session that has a bunch of fields, and you can remove fields that were existing. So, so yeah, it was a lot of fun. And I also migrated or sort of refactored the component to be used on two different pages. So this create session and the edit session, they both use the same component, which makes things a lot easier. And also I think I'm gonna implement duplicating sessions as well, because right now, for example, if you're at a school like me, as an instructor, or you're in an institute, then you might want to have the same sort of feedback parameters for every single talk that you have, or every single session, like how relevant it was it helpful, was it not helpful, and it's a pain to create that, every time yourself. So I'm gonna have something like duplicate this guy, and then that can use exactly the same component but just pre-filled with the existing values. Interesting. I'm a big SvelteKit fan at the moment. Interesting to see other people start on other frameworks. Aha, okay. Yeah, I think I've used SvelteKit way before, back in the days. But I've not used anything that was of a big scale or was deployed to production. I did implement the drop game in Svelte. I found it easy because I mean it's not a big game or big thing. It's essentially when you type drop in the chat, you see your avatar right here. So what I'm doing right now, I sort of migrated all of that into um, to a Chrome extension. So now it's not Svelte anymore. Now it's React and the Chrome extension. So this is what you see. So it essentially is, the Chrome extension is essentially looking at the chat and every item, and as soon as someone types drop, because the problem here was with Twitch, you can create a Twitch bot to do the same thing, and that's what I did. I created a Twitch bot with Svelte, and that worked perfectly. But then I started doing multi-stream, and then I couldn't make it work because obviously I would have to create a bot for everything. So I just utilized this. I created an extension for Chrome. I'm listening to the chat that comes sort of combined from Restream, which is what I'm using for multi-stream as well. And then yeah, from any platform. Now if someone sends a drop, it works. I can even try it from my Restream bot, and even that works. But yeah, that's the max I've done with Svelte. But I've heard good things about Svelte. Are you what is your stance on the Svelte kit or the Svelte compiler dropping support for TypeScript? I know that was a big discussion point in the recent days. Having said that, actually, I think I'm gonna have to run because I have to go to the office in the morning, and I hope my voice gets better as well. Thank you for joining. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. This was fun. PulseChecker's new features are deployed. I'm gonna also try to. I'm not really sure if I'm gonna have more time to implement this week, but I'll see if I can stream on Saturday in the morning. And in the morning, as in the morning in Europe, in the EU, CEST time. SvelteKit already doesn't have TypeScript, so it's still typed and it still can use TS in the framework. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, you have a good day too. Thank you so much for the follow, and I hope to see you again. Have a good one. Take care. Bye.